Hey, gang, and it's another pre-recorded video. It is about 10:05 p.m. Eastern time right now. Um, and I'm doing another I Know What You Shot on video. Tonight I'm going to be talking about Suffer Little Children and Black Devil Doll from Hell. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk about Copperhead, which was one that I had planned to talk about tonight, but was not able to get it downloaded in time to watch it. So, Steve's working on that for me now. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk about it next time, which will be in another couple of weeks. Okay. So before I get started, I just want to remind everybody of the things, the new things, hopefully exciting things going on with the channel, the sister channel, and me and Steve's added attraction. So, first off is the Discord. Now, as I've said before over and over again, and I'm not trying to like say bad things about a Discord, but all a Discord is essentially is a glorified message board. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's any more or any less than that. Okay. But if you like to get on message boards and you like to talk about things with like minded people, hopefully, um, then a Discord might be something that you might be interested in. Hence, me creating a Discord for Deadites on Deck. Um, you can join for free. It is free to join. Um, And I probably forgot to put the links in there for this. I'll try to remember to do that before I upload this. But it is free to join. You can click on the link, accept the invite, create your account, and you're ready to start talking about all different kinds of things. We have a general discussion channel, which is where you can just put general information, or you can introduce yourself when you first join the Discord. Movies channel is, of course, you can talk about all kinds of movies. You don't necessarily have to talk about horror movies. The Book Lovers Nook, you can talk about all kinds of books there. The Music Cellar Dwellers channel, you can talk about all kinds of music. The Yard Sale channel, where if you have something to advertise or something that you want to sell, the Yard Sale channel is the place to do it. New releases, sharing is caring. If you've seen this cool new release or you've received in the mail a new release that you purchased and you want to share that with everyone else, the new releases, sharing is caring, is the place to share that. Also, there is a Boutique Labels, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly channel. You can get on there and talk about all the many different boutique labels and the pros and cons of each one of those. Okay. So the next thing is I do have a Deadites on Deck Patreon. Again, I'm going to try to remember to put the link in the description for this video for the Deadites on Deck uh, Patreon. Now, there are three different tiers. The highest tier is $25, so no more than $25 a month. The $5 a month seller Deadite tier, this is for the average fan of Deadites on Deck. What's included in that? New members will be recognized via a monthly video shout out, and you also get the ability to vote on upcoming watch alongs and live stream topics. The Henrietta Deadite tier is $10 a month. This is for the ultra fan of Deadites on Deck. You'll get all the perks from the first tier, plus access to exclusive commentaries not available for general consumption, and live members only chats, plus an exclusive Evil Dead chick butt. Now, the Groovy tier. That's the $25 a month tier. That's as far up as I go. This is for the hardcore Deadites on Deck fan. This tier includes all the perks of the previous two tiers, plus the ability to request certain movies for the Deadites on Deck team to do watch alongs for. And your choice of an official Deadites on Deck t shirt, hat, or mouse pad. And again, the image will look similar to this one, except not only will you have Evil Dead chick, but you will also have Deadites on Deck on there. So just wanted to show you that. Um, the sister channel, Waiting on Woodstock, that me and Candace are soon hopefully going to be doing some videos for, or a starter video for. Waiting on Woodstock um, is, it looks pretty empty now. We've got a banner, we've got a profile pic. This is a channel for members of the Woodstock Nation, as well as those that carry the spirit of the time within their hearts. Now, that doesn't mean that it's all going to be flowers and peace and love and all that. It is going to be that. But we are also going to be talking about true crime cases from the 60s and 70s, the dark side of the music industry during those time periods. So if you're more interested in that than you are peace, love, and flowers, then be sure to tune in and watch some of our videos. And we'll probably be doing some live watch alongs for movies from the 60s or movies that take place in the 60s. So keep a lookout for all of that. Steve and I have started our own channel, and that is for we watch movies, and me and Steve will talk about the movies that we have watched during the week. We're doing this every couple of weeks now, so we just did episode 1 3 days ago. We talked about The Abyss, The Shining, Popeye, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Black Swarm, A Good Day for It, Case of the Bloody Iris, and there was one more, um, but I didn't really want to click on it because that would happen. Um, and Woodstock, that was the other one that I talked about. Sorry about that if you heard us talking a little bit. But be sure to tune in to We Watch Movies every couple of weeks or so, when me and Steve will do a new show talking about the movies we've watched the past week, or in some cases, the past couple of weeks. So, with all that being said, let's get to these couple of movies, the shot on video movies. Now, I refreshed myself a little bit on Suffer Little Children from 1983. It's only 76 minutes long, not a very long movie. Now, Copperhead is 95 minutes, so if I talk about that one will have a little more meat on its bones. Several Little Children, the way this movie comes on sort of reminds me of, oh shoot, it just went right out of my mind. Not Boarding House, uh, but Sledgehammer. Like the digital way it comes on, almost like the credits are done on a computer and all that. So, a mute girl is abandoned and left at a children's orphanage. This is the weirdest children's orphanage I've ever seen in my life. This movie is fairly creepy, a lot more creepy. I don't think Black Devil Doll from Hell is creepy at all, unless you find like puppets or whatever dolls creepy. So the girl's welcomed into the group, but after she's been there a little while, randomly some of the kids start fighting with each other, and a handicapped boy falls violently down the stairs. So more and more stuff starts to happen. So suspicion falls on this new girl, and she's revealed to be uh, a demonic child led by Satan. And she actually convinces all the other kids in this orphanage to kill the adults. It's sort of kind of like a chore of the corn type of thing. Um, so it's a 1983 production, but it's apparently supposed to be a reenactment of events from August 1984. Um, this film or presents itself like a caught on tape or a found footage, as we would say nowadays. There's static shots from staircases and hallways, and performances. I don't know. My Analog Nightmares book says they're fairly believable as upper crust Brits in the 1980s, because this is a UK production. I don't know if I would go that far with it, but it is definitely, the production values are better than Black Devil Doll from Hell. Um, there is one character who's a pop singer, and I agree with them here that he feels that character feels out of place. Why would a rock star be visiting an orphanage? I wonder. Um, and he's the main character too. I think what it was supposed to be was he was supposed to be, you know, a child that grew up in this orphanage. Um, we have paranormal aspects. We have flying plants. We have sliding desks. Um, and as the children turn evil, as they're led by this demonic girl, it is pretty chilling. It's very, very creepy. And it's probably that creep factor is more than likely because these kids are just being kids. And then the added creepiness of being told to act a certain way. Um, there is a bloody knife attack that's pretty good. Um, and the girl that plays the demonic child is is okay, but it's don't be expecting like exorcist like effects, because this was shot on video, very low budget and all of that. Um, also, there is extremely loud trash metal playing every time something bad's about to happen. And the end features Jesus. So, I mean, I guess that's a positive. And it has, I guess they stowed sound effects out or from Godzilla. Um, it actually ran into some trouble when it was initially released without BBFC certification. Um, and it was looked upon as immoral, and kind of glorified violence and all that. But it was actually created by drama school students that were trying to show off their talent. Um, it is creepy. It is worth a watch. You know, I'm not going to tell you don't seek this one out to watch. Steve actually downloaded it, so he has a copy of it. There may be other places you can find it. I could not find it for free on YouTube, though, unfortunately. And I think at one time it was. But there may be other outlets where you can find it for free. So, because of the creep factor, because the kid actors were pretty good in it, they probably really, there were some drama school people in there, but I don't think these real young kids were drama school students. I think they were probably just kids they got together, and it was just like kids being kids, and you tell them to act one way or another, and they just innocently go into it. And I think that's what worked for this film. Um, but again, I don't have a half yet. I promise I'm going to get that half at some point. But visualize that half. And I'm going to give this 3.5 deadites out of 5. All right. So on, not onward and upward, but on to Black Devil Doll from Hell, which is um they say 87 minutes in Analog Nightmares. I don't know if I watched a more shortened version. This one was about 72 minutes, an hour and 12 minutes was all this one was. Directed by Chester Novell Turner and starring Shirley Jones, Marie Sanvillis, Ricky Roach, what a name there, and Keith L. Turner. So Helen Black, she's the main character. And I think it's funny that her name is Helen Black. She's a God fearing woman. She goes to church on Sundays. She has a Bible in every room of her house. And she won't let a man see her naked until they are married. But that changes when she goes into this, I don't know, a thrift store, a antique store, maybe, and she gets a puppet. And it's a weird ass looking puppet. I kid you not. And she takes it home. And why? I don't know why she sets this thing in the bathroom and then gets naked and says, basically, you're the only person that will see me naked until I'm married. And then she gets into the shower. And when she gets in the shower, and it's very like, it's almost like she's heading, I'm not trying to be vulgar here, but it's almost like she's enjoying that shower a little bit too much. I'll say that. And we begin to suspect that what is wrong with Helen is she's sexually repressed. She's so sexually repressed that when the doll or puppet or whatever you want to call it comes to life, um, and basically knocks her out, drags her into the bedroom, ties her up on the bed, and essentially starts to rape her. And then she decides that she's felt things that she's never felt before, and she's loving it. And so the lady at the store where she bought the doll has told her that, that the doll is said to be able to give people their most heartfelt wish or desire or whatever. And then once it completes that, it returns to the store. And she tells Helen that it's returned at least 3 or 4 times to the store. And Helen buys it, and takes it home, and then is ravaged by the doll, basically, um, and says such lovely lines as, "Are you ready for the pain, bitch?" And, and so when she wakes up in the morning, that she's not tied up or anything, and she thinks it wasn't real, it couldn't be real. And then she discovers blood because evidently she was a virgin before the doll ravaged her. And she said, "Blood. Oh, it did happen." And so now she's got a sexual urge that can't be satiated. So there's this guy that's selling some hot goods out there, televisions and radios and stuff, probably stuff he stole, because early on she told him, she said, you shouldn't be stealing. So she gets the guy to come into her house and wants him to make love to her, but she's just bored. He's This guy's like having the time of his life, and then she's just laying there with no, expression or anything. And he's like, can't you enjoy it, baby?" And she's like, "No." And so he leaves, and she goes out to some kind of bar or club or whatever, and meets a guy there, goes back home with, or takes him back to her house. And this guy actually acts kind of sad that he can't satisfy her. He says, I've always been told I've got a way with the ladies. And, she basically tells him, "It's not you, it's me." And he says, "Well, I'll kick around with you later, baby." And he leaves. And she just can't stand it. She's got to get the type of pleasure that she had with the doll. So she goes back to the store and the doll is there. And she says to the store owner, I want my property back. And the store owner says, no, if you want this doll or this puppet, you got to pay for it. So she pays for it again, takes it home, and wants it to, start moving and talking and ravage her again. And instead it kills her and then goes back to the shop. And another lady gets the doll, takes it home, and the last scene you see the woman mouthing the words, what the fuck? And evidently the doll is, or puppet has come to life once again. So the Analog Nightmares describes the doll as a miniature Rick James, which I could clearly see that. In fact, I can probably show you this picture here. There is the Black Devil doll from hell with glowing eyes there. Um, So it's basically is a time capsule of the early 80s. It is horrendously cheap and horrendously hard to watch. My eyes were almost crossing. But keep in mind, folks, that this is a shot on video film. Um, it does feel like somebody's home movie, and a very dirty one at that, as Analog Nightmares describes it. It was produced on a $7,000 to $8,000 budget, half of which was spent on the camera equipment, folks. Um, and also, the director got into some trouble when the real reverend or pastor appearing at the beginning wanted to be edited out. But sadly, he had already signed a release. So there was a rumor that spread that Turner was using the footage for an X-rated film, and police investigated, but backed off after all signed releases were produced and nothing was out of line. It is definitely not an X-rated film. Um, there are moments of laugh out loud hilarity. I agree. In Black Devil Doll from Hell, but it's wonderfully balanced with extreme perversion and doll nastiness. Um, Now, Turner was also responsible for 1987's Tales from the Quaddead Zone, which I've heard several people talk about. It was rescued from obscurity by Massacre Video in 2013, and now that film is readily available on DVD. The disc contains both the original release and the preferred director's cut. And that means this film along with Tales from the Quaddead Zone. Okay. So you may be able to still pick that up. So what would I give Black Devil Doll from Hell? Well, I'm not going to give it as high a rating as I did Suffer Little Children, but I will give it at least 3 deadites out of 5 because it is entertaining. It is outrageous. And I found myself, even though it seemed so absurd, I found it hard to keep my eyes off the screen. Okay. So you'll have fun with this one. Um, it's almost impossible to be offended by it because it's a doll or a puppet doing all the dirty deeds essentially in this, or most of the dirty deeds in this. So, that's my rating for Black Devil Doll from Hell. So hopefully I'll be able to talk about in 2 weeks Copperhead and the Mad Monk from 1984. Or if I cannot talk about Copperhead, I will be talking about Blood Cult from 1985. And I actually am planning on pre-ordering that from Vinegar Syndrome real soon. So you will be all able to hear all about Blood Cold and all its gory glory at least a couple more times. But I want to thank those of you that tuned in to watch my little video, just around 25 minutes long, with me talking about all the other stuff at the beginning. I want to say, if you're at all interested in shot on video horror films, especially those from 1982 to 1995, pick up a copy of Analog Nightmares by Richard Mogg. I'm sure Amazon still has some copies. That's where I got my copy from. So if you're interested at all in watching some of these films and want to see what the titles are, this is a definite great book to have, a great reference book for that. There are also some really good interviews, including a rather extensive interview with Tim Boggs, the director of the immortal Blood Lake, immortal in my eyes anyway, because you have Little Tony. That's all I'm going to say about Blood Lake right now. I'm sure y'all have heard me talk about Blood Lake many, many times. So I'm off like a dirty shirt, but I want to remind everybody before I go to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. It's Friday tomorrow, folks. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, and let's have a kick ass Friday and an even bigger kick ass weekend. It's it's got to be better than, hopefully it's got to be better for most of us than last Friday, right? And those of you that know what I'm talking about, you know what happened last Friday. So I'm out of here for now, folks, but I'll see everybody next time.